Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed regarding the corporate accounting and final accounts of companies. In the last class, we discussed the statement of profit and loss and the balance sheet without the notice to accounts. Means simply just put what is that? Simply just to put whatever the items in the trial balance or the balances extracted from the books, that is to be directly put in the balance sheet in the case of the assets as well as in case of the liability. In this way, that is no fixed liability or non-current liability, then current liability, then fixed asset or non-current asset and current asset. Then we are matching with the liability side and the asset side. Okay, so that is notes to without notes to accounts. Without notes to accounts in the sense means what? There is no further working. Whatever the balances in the books, that is to be put there. So that is the which one balance sheet, preparation of the balance sheet without notice to account. So today we will discuss one more problem with that, and then we will proceed with the with accounts. Okay, the balance sheet with accounts. So this is the problem. Balance sheet of a company with the notes without notes to accounts. So we are just putting the balances there. So we will see how it is to be. Prepare a balance sheet of Star Limited as at 31st March 2018 from the details given below. The share capital 32,60,000. Reserves and surplus 2 lakh. Application money pending allotment 50,000. Then other long-term liability it is 60,000. Other current liability it is 30,000. Trade payable 2,12,000. Short-term provision 1 lakh. Long-term borrowing 2,50,000. Cash and cash equivalents 37,400. Trade receivables it is 2,95,000. Tangible fixed asset it is 70,83,000. Intangible fixed asset it is 2,14,000. Intangible assets under development 3,22,000. Capital work in progress it is 5,21,000. Current investment it is 34,600. Long-term provision 1 lakh. Long-term loans and advances 4 lakh and inventories 6,55,000. So how it is to be prepared first? We need to do it this way. Balance sheet of the so and so concern. Okay. This is for the amount column. This is the notes to accounts column, and then the particulars column. Under the particulars column, what is the first item? It is equity and liability. Equity and liability. So only two heads are there, equity and liability and assets. Under the equity and liability, what all things coming? Firstly, the shareholders' funds. Shareholders' funds. How much it is? Share capital, that is already given in the question, 32,60,000. 32,60,000. Then this directly given in the question, we are just putting based on the assets as well as the liability. So firstly, liability. This is the vertical form of balance sheet. So reserves and surplus. That is also given in the question as 2 lakh. Then share application B. Next item. Share application pending allotment. That is application money kitti, allotment money pending. So that is 50,000. Okay. Then maybe C. Non-current liability. Non-current liability, under that, A, it is long-term borrowing. Long-term borrowing, it is 2,50,000. That is already given in the question. Then, other long-term liability. other long-term liability. So you need to understand that in this way only you can prepare this. Otherwise, you will not get the mark because there is a particular form for this. This is the vertical form of balance sheet starting with the equity and liability. Under that, the shareholders' funds is the first item. Under that, the share capital and the reserves and surplus are the subdivisions of that. Then, second is share application pending allotment money. Then, non-current liability. Under that, in what way? Long-term borrowings. കൂടുതൽ എന്തായിട്ടുള്ള അതായത് ഫിക്സഡ് ലയബിലിറ്റി ആണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. കൂടുതൽ സമയത്തേക്ക് കടമായിട്ട് വെക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഇത്. Then, other long-term liability that is 60,000. Then, after that, long-term provision, whatever be the long-term, that is, it comes here. Long-term provision, how much it is? 1 lakh. Then, about non-current liability value. Ini endana non-current liability. Current liability, what all is there? Trade payable is there. Trade payable, it is 2,12,000. Then other current liability, how much? 30,000. Then short-term provision, അതായത് long term വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് എന്തിനകത്തോട്ട് പോകും? ഫിക്സഡ് ലയബിലിറ്റിയിലോട്ട് പോകും. Long term അതിലോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോൾ short term എന്താണ്? For the short period of time, that liability to be kept. So current liability, that one. So short-term provisions, how much? 1 lakh. So take the total of this. This is the liability side, 42 lakh 62,000. So those who are not understand this, equity and liability is the first item. Under that, shareholders funds is the sub item. Under that, the share capital and reserves and surplus is the sub classification. Then the second item is share application pending allotment money. In this way, you need to familiarize this. അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കി വെക്കുക. ഈ രീതിയിലെ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പാടുള്ളൂ. ഷെയർ ഹോൾഡേഴ്സ് ഫണ്ട്സ് ആദ്യത്തെ ഐറ്റം, രണ്ടാമത് ഷെയർ ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ പെൻഡിങ് അലോട്ട്മെന്റ്, മൂന്നാമത് നോൺ കറന്റ് ലയബിലിറ്റി. അണ്ടർ ദ നോൺ കറന്റ് ലയബിലിറ്റി, what is a non current liability? It is not a current liability. What is a current liability? That is for a short period of time. That liability should be cleared within a short period of time. That is current liability. If it is more than 1 year, if a liability is to be kept, that is a case of non current liability, means fixed liability. അത് കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്ത് പോകുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് കുഴപ്പമൊന്നുമില്ല എന്നുള്ള ഇതാണ്. So long term borrowings is one item, other long term liability is another item, and also long term provision. In this question, these are the things. And then after putting the fixed liability, another is the current liability, where trade payables is there, other what is that? Current liabilities are there, and also short term borrowings are there, or short term provisions are there. So these are the liability side. And then the asset side. Asset side, what is there? Fixed assets and current assets. Nothing other than that. Okay. So fixed assets is how much we need to check it. And current assets, take the total, we will match the balance sheet. That is. So second case, assets. Under that, non-current assets. Fixed assets എന്ന് അങ്ങനെ പറയാറില്ല, നോൺ കറന്റ് അസറ്റ് എന്നേ പറയുള്ളൂ. അതിനകത്തെ പാർട്ടാണ് that is fixed assets, that is tangible, intangible, then capital work in progress, അതായത് പകുതി പണിത ഐറ്റംസ്, then intangible assets under development. ഇത്രയുമാണ് എന്തെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് under the fixed assets. So tangible, how much is the tangible? 17,83,000, isn't it? 17,83,000, that is the fixed asset itself. I will check it. Intangible fixed asset, that is 17,83,000. How we are putting this? Tangible fixed asset is 17,83,000. Okay. So tangible fixed asset 17,83,000. Then intangible asset. intangible assets, intangible fixed asset is 2,14,000. Then capital work in progress. How much? 5,21,000. Then capital work in progress, then intangible assets under development. Under development, it is 3,22,000. And then long-term loans and advances. So under the fixed asset, these are tangible, intangible, capital work in progress, the intangible assets for land development. Okay, under land and under the development. The development നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന അങ്ങനത്തെ asset. Then B point is, what is that? Long-term loans and advances. That is 4 lakh. Okay. Then after the fixed asset, so this is the non-current asset and then current asset. Under that, trade debtors, isn't it? Trade receivable, stock, current investment, cash and cash equivalents. So current investments, how much it is? 34,600. Inventories, under the inventory, it is 6,55,000. Then trade receivable, that is trade debtors, 2,95,000. Then cash and cash equivalents, how much? 37,400. So take the total, it is 42,62,000. So in this way, we are putting, so once again, I will tell you the format. What firstly, equities and liabilities. Under that, shareholders' funds is there. Under that, share capital and reserves and surplus is the sub-classification. Then share application pending allotment is the second item. Then non-current fixed liability. Then current liability. These are the items there in the liability side as equities and liabilities. On the asset side, there is non-current assets and current assets. And then take the total, both sides will be equal. Then another question is, so this is the case with the without notes to accounts, means simply putting the amount mentioned in the question. Amounts liability item, asset item, classify either, we are writing that one, or we are putting in the balance sheet, in the vertical form of the balance sheet. That is balance sheet preparing without notes to accounts. Next is balance sheets of a company with the note to accounts is to be calculated. So this is the problem for that. From the following assets and liability, prepare the balance sheet as per the Schedule 3, Part 1 of the Companies Act, Akhil Limited, sundry creditors 1 lakh, general reserve 50,000, interest on debentures 28,000, authorized share capital, that is 12 lakh, subscribed capital 7,85,000, then profit and loss account, it is 75,000, 6% debentures, it is 6 lakh, bills payable, it is 76,000, and for the asset side, cash at bank 79,800, cash in hand 1,500, investment long term, it is 95,000, preliminary expenses, it is 9,000, current assets, loans and advances 95,000, goodwill 50,000, buildings, it is 6 lakh, and plant and machinery after depreciation 5,94,000, stock is 10,000, debtors after provision for bad debt, doubtful debts, it is 1,65,300, and furniture 14,300. Then so with this, need to start with this information, or here also the balance is extracted. From this, we need to prepare the balance sheet. So how it is to be prepared with the notes to accounts. So firstly, see balance sheet. So here particulars, this is notes to accounts column and this is amount column. Then first item is equity and liabilities. What is the item? Shareholders funds. Shareholders funds. Under that, we need to calculate the share capital because it is given in the question as two items, subscribed capital and authorized capital. So we will see how the workings is to be. Look in the notes to accounts because of the size of the board is small. I am just to see, I am sharing with you the screen. See how it is to be. Authorized capital, it is given in the question as 12 lakhs, isn't it? 12 lakhs. And subscribed capital, it is 80,000 less 80,000 at the rate of rupees 10 each 8 lakhs less calls in arrears 15,000, so 7 lakh 85,000, total 19 lakh 85,000. So authorized capital we did no need to put it in the balance sheet because it is the registered capital. 12 lakh അവരുടെ കയ്യിൽ എപ്പോഴും ഇതായിരിക്കും, അത് രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നതാണ്, അതിന് അത് ബാലൻസ് ഷീറ്റിൽ കാണിക്കണമെന്നില്ല. പക്ഷേ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ്ഡ് ക്യാപിറ്റൽ വർക്കിംഗ്സ് കാണിക്കണം. നമ്പർ 1, അതായത് നോട്ട്സ് ടു അക്കൗണ്ട്സ് 1 എത്രയാണ്? ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗിവൺ ഇൻ ദ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ 7,85,000. ദെൻ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഐറ്റം എന്താണ്? റിസർവ്സ് ആൻഡ് സർപ്ലസ്. ഇതിനകത്തെ സബ് ഐറ്റം ആണ്. ഷെയർ ഹോൾഡേഴ്സ് ഫണ്ട്സിലെ സബ് ഐറ്റം ആണ് ഷെയർ ക്യാപിറ്റലും reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus, how it is to be? What is the reserve here? General reserve, it is 50,000. Any other reserve? Yes, something is there. Profit and loss account, it is 75,000. Okay. So how the reserve? General reserve 50,000. See the what is that? Reserves and surplus. General reserve 50,000. Profit and loss account 75,000. But there is a preliminary expenses. That we need to check it. Where it is preliminary expenses. It is giving. Preliminary expenses 9,000 in the asset side is there. So in such a case, that is out of the profit we are need to calculate it. That is why P&L in എന്ത് കുറയ്ക്കണം? 75,000 in ഈ 9,000 കുറച്ചിട്ട് എന്തിന്റെ കൂടെ? ജനറൽ റിസർവിന്റെ കൂടെ ആഡ് ചെയ്യുക. അതാണ് എന്തെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? That is the notes to account. The second one, reserves and surplus. Look, general reserve 50,000, profit and loss account 75,000, less preliminary expenses 9,000. About 75 minus 9. See, ആ എമൗണ്ട് പ്ലസ് 50,000 അത് ആഡ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ് സെക്കൻഡ് ഐറ്റം. What is that? It is the 1,16,000. That is the reserves and surplus. Next item എന്താണ്? Share application pending allotment. Share application pending allotment. Share application pending allotment, that is see share application pending allotment. There is no item here. So, but just to put it blank, share application pending allotment, just to put it blank. Then the third item, it is non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities, there is a long-term borrowing, 6% debentures is there. So, long-term borrowings, 6% debentures. So, how much it is? 6 lakh, that is already given in the question. 6 lakham, other question that is only the non-current liability. Then, fourth item, current liability. Current liability, there is other current liability and also trade payables are there. So, trade payable. So, what all items are there in the trade payable? We need to check it in the notes to accounts. That is See, trade creditors is 1 lakh and bills payable it is 76,000. So, third note, 1,76,000. Isn't it? So, trade creditors is there in the question and also bills payable also there in the question. Both add up and then that comes under the current liability, trade payable. Then other current liability. Where എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ എന്നുള്ളത് നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. Other current liability, that is which one? Debenture ഉണ്ട് ഒരെണ്ണം, അതിനുള്ള interest, isn't it? Interest on debentures 28,000 there is. So that we need to put it here. So 28,000. There is no item for notes to accounts because only single item, that is the other current liability, that is interest on debentures. Debentures ന്റെ പലിശ ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, ചില കേസുകൾ നിങ്ങൾ എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ അത് സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വേണം. അതായത് ടേക്ക് കെയർ, അറ്റ്മോസ്റ്റ് കെയർ, ലൈക്ക് ഡിവിഡന്റ്, ദി ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഓൺ ഡിബെഞ്ചർ, ടാക്സ് ഡയറക്റ്റഡ് സോഴ്സ്, അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയുള്ള ഐറ്റംസ്, പ്രൊവിഷൻ ഫോർ ടാക്സേഷൻ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടതാണല്ലോ. അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയുള്ള ഐറ്റംസ്, അതുപോലെ കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് ഡിബെഞ്ചർ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ്, ഡിവിഡന്റ് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഐറ്റംസ് എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇതിനകത്ത് സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വേണം. കാരണം അതിന് അറ്റ്മോസ്റ്റ് കെയർ അത് അതിൻ്റെതായ രീതിയിൽ തന്നെ എടുക്കണം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് അണ്ടർ ദ അതർ കറന്റ് ലയബിലിറ്റി ഇറ്റ് കംസ്. ടേക്ക് ദ ടോട്ടൽ. സോ shareholders fund share capital 7,85,000, reserves and surplus it is 1,16,000, non-current liability under that long-term borrowing is 6 lakh, then current liability, the trade payability is 1,76,000 and 28,000, total 17,05,000. 17,05,000. Then this is the current liability side, equities and liabilities. Then we see what is the asset part. Asset. Asset. So what is there? Second item, assets. Under the asset part, non-current assets and fixed, means fixed asset and current asset. So under the fixed asset, what is there? So under the non-current asset, one is the fixed asset. So fixed asset column, yes, tangible asset and intangible asset. So tangible assets, there is too much tangible assets are there that we are going to see the notes to accounts. Like, see, fixed assets tangible, there is building 6 lakh. Okay, building 6 lakh. P&M after depreciation it is 5,94,000 and furniture it is 14,400. That is already given in the question as direct thing. We are putting that one and putting take the total of all these. Okay, so how much it is? 12,08,400. So which one? Fourth, yes, fixed asset tangible, tangible asset fourth note. Then it is how much? 12,08,400. Okay. Then trade receivable, after that, what is that? Fixed asset. That is under the fixed asset, tangible assets and intangible assets and other long-term assets. Angane write on. This fixed asset is in the non-current asset in the part. Okay, either A under that fixed asset. Then other long-term non-current assets, isn't it? Other long-term non-current asset. Under that, what is there? One more thing, intangible asset is there. I forgot to put intangible asset. Intangible asset is there. That is how much? There is only one item, goodwill, that is 50,000. Then other non-current asset. And then long-term investment. That's long-term investment. That is non-current asset. Current asset is only for a short period. So it is 95,000. Okay. Then next B, it is current asset. What are there? Trade receivable, stock, cash and cash equivalents, items, isn't it? So another current asset inventory that is directly given in the question. No need of any accounts. Notes to accounts. 10,000. Then trade receivable. And trade receivable in provision for doubtful debts on the അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിനെ എന്ത് എഴുതേണ്ടി വരുന്നത്? we need to put the notes. So see, trade debtors less provision, it is 1,65,300. So 1,65,000. So it is fifth note, 1,65,300. Then after the trade debtors, it is cash and cash equivalents. Cash and cash equivalents, that is the sixth note. What all is there? What all the cash and the bank things are there? Is there? We need to check it. So look, cash in hand and cash at bank, it is 81,300. So that is 81,300. You see in the notes to accounts, cash in hand and cash at bank, and also this is the current asset, and then other current asset. Other current assets, there is 95,000. So we will check what is the other current asset. Investment long term is there, then current asset, loans and advances, other current assets are there. So that is also to be put here. So 95,000. A total, how much it is? 17,05,000. So in this way, with the notes to accounts, this is a simple problem where there is no adjustment. Now you will see the problem with the adjustment. So here, what is there? First item is what? Equities and liabilities under that shareholders funds, share capital and reserves and surplus. Then second item is share application pending allotment money. Then non-current liability. Under that, what all are the fixed liability, that is for a long period of time. Then current liability, isn't it? Our format under the liability side we are putting. Like the same asset side, there should be non-current asset and current asset. Under the non-current asset, there is fixed asset like tangible, intangible, and some other cases like that. Then other current assets also there. Other non-current assets. Then comes the current assets. Under that, inventories are there, trade receivable is there, stock is there, then cash and cash equivalents there, and other current assets is there. So in this way, we are preparing the balance sheet of a company. Then we will do one more problem with the notes to accounts, but without adjustment. Adjustments we will look in the next class. Preparation of a company balance sheet with the notes to accounts. Following balances has been extracted from the books of the Knight Riders Limited as of 31st March. Balances only. Equity capital, fully paid shares of 100 is 6 lakh. Fixed asset at cost 8,60,000. Creditors it is 30,000. Cash and bank balance it is 50,000. Inventory it is 60,000. Bills receivable it is 20,000. Accumulated depreciation it is 30,000. While in the asset side, investment 70,000. Reserves and surpluses 1,10,000. 5% debentures secured against land 2,20,000. Unsecured loan from subsidiaries 50,000. Underwriting commission 15,000. Provision for taxation 25,000. Interest accrued and due on 5% debentures it is 10,000. And also you are required to prepare a balance sheet of Knight Riders as on 31st March 2018 as prescribed under the revised schedule 3 of the Companies Act. So we will do how it is to be. So firstly, here, equity and liability, that is the shareholders' funds. Shareholders' funds that is given in the question as share capital, equity shares on 100 each fully paid, 6 lakh. That is already given in the question as which item C. Equity share capital, 6 lakh, this one. Okay, 6 lakh. Then C. Reserves and surplus. That is the first thing with the notes to accounts. Number 1. Reserves and surplus, that how it is to be calculated. Reserves and surplus, this is total amount is 1,10,000. From that, we need to deduct the underwriting commission of 15,000. So 1,10,000 minus 15,000, 95,000 is the net amount for reserves and surplus. So here, look, reserves and surplus, it is 95,000. So that is the first case, shareholders' funds, under that share capital and also the reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus is the first notes to account. Then share application money pending allotment. Nothing is there, but also you need to put the heading. That is one problem, one thing with regard to this. That is equity and liability. These are the subpart, or these are the in the format, vertical form of the company's balance sheet. In this way, each and every company is maintaining. So that is why shareholders' funds, then share application pending allotment, then non-current liability, then current liability. See, non-current liability is the third item. Under that, long-term borrowings, second notes to accounts. We will check it. What is that? That is C. Long-term borrowing, 5% debentures that is secured against the land, 2,20,000, and unsecured loan from subsidiaries, that is 50,000, 2,70,000, that is the total for long-term borrowings. Okay, that we are putting here. See, long-term borrowings, 2,70,000. Then current liability, non-current liability only one item, to long-term borrowings. Then current liability, the trade payables, that is the creditor, 30,000. Other current liability, that is interest accrued and due on 5% debentures, that is 10,000. That is given on the question as it is. And short-term provision, that is provision for taxation, that is 25,000. That is what? Current liability, that is not for a period of more than 1 year. Liability that is extend up to a period of 1 year or not more than a period of 1 year. That is the current liability, like trade payables or creditors, other current liability and short-term provisions. Like the same, assets also to be prepared. Under that, non-current assets, that is fixed asset, tangible. Tangible asset, which is the item. And the other item is NOCA. So tangible asset, that is fixed asset less accumulated depreciation. That is already given in the question. Fixed asset, where it is at cost, it is 8,60,000, and accumulated depreciation, it is 30,000. So 8,30,000 is the amount to be put. See, 8,30,000 is the amount to be put. So fixed asset, accumulated depreciation is there, that is to be deducted. That is the tangible fixed asset. Under that, tangible. Okay, tangible asset, intangible asset. Here, intangible assets also not there. So what we need to do? That ignore that one. The main heading you need to put, like shareholders fund, then share application pending allotment, then non-current liability, current liability. These 4 heading ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കണം എന്താണെങ്കിലും. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ അസറ്റ്സിൽ നോൺ കറന്റ് അസറ്റും കറന്റ് അസറ്റ്സും ഇത് രണ്ടുമാണ് അസറ്റ്സിൽ വരുന്ന ഹെഡിങ്സ്. ഇത് ഇത്രയും അതിന്റെ ഫോർമാറ്റിൽ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഫോർമാറ്റിനുള്ള മാർക്ക് ഉണ്ടാകും. Isn't it? So അതാണ്. So fixed asset tangible 8,30,000 and non-current investment there is 70,000, and current assets mainly what is there? Stock is there, trade receivable is there, cash and cash equivalents are there. Then if any other short-term current assets is there, that is to be put it there. So here in this question, inventory is there 60,000, trade receivable, that is bills receivable 20,000, cash and cash equivalents, cash and cash bank balances are there, cash and bank balance are there. So 50,000 total, 10,30,000. So in this way, you need to prepare a notes to accounts with the notes to accounts, the balance sheet. Only difference is what? We need to prepare the workings in the where notes to accounts column. So today we see how to prepare a balance sheet with the notes to accounts. Tomorrow or the next day, we will see with the adjustments how the notes to accounts, also how a balance sheet is to be prepared. So please have a look at today's topic. Please do it as much as problems from the practical problems exercise part, because you need to familiar with this, because this is a 15 marks question. Compulsory it will ask. Final accounts of companies under the balance sheet may be asked for 15 marks, because that much tough question will come. As adjustment, we will do with the adjustments also. Okay, clear? So please have a look at today's classes, and please see the video after uploading and confirm me. So thank you for the day.